To add interactivity to your pages, Dreamweaver has incorporated a series of jQuery UI widgets, which completely replace the Spry widgets in Dreamweaver CS6 and earlier. You access the widgets from the Insert panel. So let's open the Insert panel and switch to jQuery UI by opening the menu at the top there. And if I scroll down a little, you can see there are quite a few widgets in there. The one I'm going to deal with in this lesson is the Accordion. An accordion is a series of linked collapsible panels, only one of which can be open at a time. It's a great space-saving device. In the exercises site, I've opened accordion.html, and you can find a copy of this file in the Using jQuery UI Widgets and Effects folder in the course assets. If I scroll down, you can see that the column on the left is much shorter than the column on the right. So if I move some of the material from the column on the right into an accordion, everything should look much better. I'm going to put the accordion after the first paragraph. So I'm going to click after the first paragraph in the second column and then click accordion in the Insert panel. And that inserts a jQuery UI accordion. Let's take a quick look in split view to see what has actually been inserted. And you can see that the accordion is actually just a div, and nested inside it is a series of H3 headings, each one followed by a div with a paragraph inside with a little bit of placeholder text. And if you scroll down further, right before the closing body tag is this little script block. It's JavaScript, and that's what controls the accordion. But if you look up in the Related Files toolbar, you see there's a whole bunch of new files that have been added to the page, and we need to copy these files to the site. So first thing we need to do is to go to File and Save, and then Dreamweaver shows you the list of files that will be copied to the site. Just click OK, and then I'll close split view, switch back to the Files panel, and if I scroll up there, need to refresh by clicking that button, you can see there is now a jQuery Assets folder in the site. If I expand that, there are all the various files in there with a whole bunch of images as well. So to populate the accordion, it's just a question of replacing the placeholder text. So I'm going to click inside that first heading there, section 1, select it and replace it with when to visit. Then I'm going to scroll down, select that paragraph, cut it, and then select that placeholder and paste it. That's the first panel done, but how do I get into the next panel? If you mouse over the heading, you see a little eye icon, click that eye icon, and it opens it ready for editing. So let's replace the heading first. Then get the copy, it's these two paragraphs. And for section 3, the third panel, that eye icon, and then replace the heading, and then get the text. The default accordion has just 3 panels, but if I scroll down, there's another one that I want to put in there. So how do I get it in there? Well, first I'm just going to get rid of these by deleting them. Just makes my page a little bit easier to work with. And then if I mouse over the accordion, you should be able to see a blue tab. Select that blue tab and it gives you all the properties in the Property Inspector. If this blue tab doesn't appear, go to the View menu, then Visual Aids, and make sure that there's a check mark alongside Invisible Elements. If there isn't, just click it and that toggles Invisible Elements back on. So let's go back to the Property Inspector, and what I want to do is to add another panel. Do that by clicking this little plus button, Add Panel. There it is, section 4. I can now add my final section in there. So if I select the blue tab again, I get the property inspector back. As well as adding panels, you can also remove them with this minus button, or you can change their order. I'm going to move getting there up one level, and you can see it's been swapped around. Active sets which panel is open when the page first opens. It's JavaScript driven, so 0 means the first panel because JavaScript counts from 0. So if you want the second panel to be the one that's opened by default, you'd have to put 1 in here, not 2. Event determines what opens and closes the panels. You've got the choice of click or mouse over. And height style determines the height of the accordion and of the panels. The default auto sets all panels to the height of the tallest one. Let's just see what the other two options are. Fill expands the accordion and panels to the available height of its parent. And the last option there, content, expands or contracts each panel depending on the size of its content. So you get no scroll bars, but it can affect the layout of whatever follows the accordion. I'm going to select content. Let's quickly go through the other options. Disabled obviously disables the accordion. Collapsible means that you can collapse the panel that is open, so you can have everything collapsed. This animate gives you a whole range of different options for the way in which the panels open and collapse. And this 400 is the duration of the movement when a panel opens or closes, and that's set in milliseconds. And then finally, icons lets you choose the icons in the header. The best way to find out what they do is to experiment with them. So let's turn on Live View and test our accordion. And there is the first panel open, and if I click the second panel, it moves up, the other one closes, and the same. The action in Live View isn't as smooth as it would be in a normal browser, but it does give you an idea of how it works. And just in case you're wondering what will happen if JavaScript isn't enabled, let's try that. Let's go to View, Live View Options and Disable JavaScript. And it's just the ordinary series of H3 headings and divs that you had before. So this is a very user-friendly and accessible way of saving space in a web page. Let's just turn JavaScript back on by clicking that Enable link there. So that's how you insert and edit a jQuery UI accordion. Just replace the placeholder text with whatever content you want to put into each panel. To open a panel for editing, click the eye icon on the right of its heading and select the blue tab to access the accordion's options in the Property Inspector. I'll deal with how to style jQuery UI widgets in a separate lesson.